Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022-2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns, India's G20 presidency, in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Heart Sciences and Well. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, is commemorated as World Rainforest Day. So anyone has any idea about rainforest, you can share in chat box. Or at least what rainforest means. Have you visited any rainforest? Or have you ever seen any rainforest? No responses. So no one ever visited, seen, or heard about rainforest. Can we take it so? Okay, anyway, we don't know many things. So we keep learning. We are lifelong learners. Life keeps us teaching so many things. We keep learning so many things daily, every moment of your life. So no need to worry. Just wanted to check if someone can share some inputs. So, fine. Today, we are commemorating this wonderful occasion in the context of climate change. These forests are, one of the largest sources of ecosystems, biodiversity, habitats. So in that context, it is very much essential to learn about these rainforests. So this day is set aside to raise awareness about rainforest and also about all the biotic species that live in them. As we have seen, these forests are rich in biodiversity, ecosystems, and aims to encourage people to learn more about these rainforests and join efforts to protect and preserve these forests for generations to come. But unfortunately, our development has been so destructive in nature that many of the forests are now disappearing. And because as the forests are depleting due to deforestation and rapid urbanization, even the wild animals, flora and fauna, and the ecosystems within the forest, biodiversity within the forest is also getting destroyed. And we are seeing a lot of animal and human conflict because we are encroaching into the wildlife habitats, like we are encroaching into their homes, we are encroaching into their communities or livelihoods. So they are left with less resources, or in fact, at times, no resources at all. We have obstructed many of the water sources, naturally water flows that were flowing to the forest, through the forest, and we have everywhere constructed houses, and industries and cities, towns, and the natural flow of water, which is the source of livelihood, which is the source of, continuous essential resource for the forest to thrive and also animals to thrive, because forest contains, a lot of trees, plants, shrubs, all this flora and fauna, animals, birds. They all need water to thrive and survive. But as and when these water sources are cut off from the forest, there is lack of water in the forest, and forests are getting dry, the lack of nourishment. And because of that, there is lack of, food resources available in the forest. And animals which are living in the forest are coming into the farms or nearby human habitats. That's how the human and animal conflict is being caused largely. And there is other side of the human animal conflict, that humans are going for hunting and encroaching, killing animals. And that is where another conflict is coming. So that's why it is very much essential to avoid this conflict. Why more and more conflicts are happening? Because we are encroaching into their habitats and destroying their habitats. And we, in the sense human beings, are depriving them of their water, food, and various resources, because of which they are coming out of forest and trying to source out food, water, and shelter for themselves. That is how, because they also have equal rights to survive, right for life, as we human beings have right for life, and right to gather, right to all these. They also have the right to life that is basic for any species. So they also have right to life and right to survive. And nature has given equal share and equal opportunity for them as we also, because we keep talking, we are part of Vasudevaka Kutumbakam, we all are part of one family, and all species are also part of this Vasudevaka Kutumbakam. This is one family. So as we got equal share, even all the species, including animals and plants, also got equal share of resources. But we human beings started exploiting these resources, and those poor animals, birds, plants, and trees are deprived of their basic needs like water, food, and shelter. And even the present generations are seeing the depletion of forest, and in coming generations may not even see or just hear in books or some places where there used to be a forest here. And one more vast or destruction that is happening is Nowadays, we see there are small rocky elevations or hills or small hills, or small rocky formations in many cities, villages, and also towns. They are natural formations. They were there since hundreds and thousands of years, some millions of years. But now we are removing them. Once we use them, we destroy them, it is lost forever. So we have alternative lands available. We see a lot of lands are there, barren lands, which can be utilized in an effective way, not encroaching into the forest. And we can construct these apartment kind of, instead of having lavish villas and independent houses, we can go, because the population is increasing and we need to, we can't go, consuming the entire planet, and tomorrow we'll not have anything to eat. Then again, this cannibalism will come. That is, these humans will start eating human beings, as there will be nothing left on the planet. No trees which are edible, no plants which are edible, no animals that can be consumed. Now we will reach that situation, and what else we can do? We have to eat humans only. We will reach that time, at that stage, and that's where, how these dinosaurs got extinct. Because all the food resources, of course, there are various other reasons also, but lack of food resources, they consumed everything, and a lot of changes in the environment that also added, and they started killing themselves, eating themselves. And that's how, all these factors added, and they become extinct. And similarly, human beings, what we are doing, we are eating up all the forest, we are eating up all the water, polluting and, destroying all the natural resources. And we are not supporting the farmers, because we see a lot of pesticides, germicides, herbicides, all, a lot of, due to high demand, lot of substandard, and, these which are being supplied, and fake seeds, these non-substandard quality seeds are being supplied, and they are also not being, supported in the way they have to be supported. And lack of minimum standard price. Of course, government is taking a lot of initiatives, irrespective of what government is in place or what party is in power. Every government is taking some initiatives, and especially the present government is far better comparatively, because it is taking very bold decisions which no government has ever taken since independence. That kind of decisions are required. If we want to see the change, then we have to do something that we haven't done till now. Then only we will see something that we haven't seen till now. Otherwise, if you keep doing same thing, you'll be seeing, you can see, but it takes decades or centuries together to see the things. And we have seen a lot of corruption everywhere in judiciary, especially judiciary is highly corrupted. That is where the entire, there is no fear that if someone commits crime, someone engages in corruption, they will be punished. If one has that fear, no one wants to commit a crime. No one wants to, engage in corruption. If they have that fear, and if the conviction rate is high, but hardly, what is the conviction rate? It's not even crossing 5% also, unfortunately, as per certain statistics. Of course, in some it may be high, in some it may be low. But mostly what we are seeing, the conviction rate itself is very low. That means high level of corruption in the judiciary itself. is making the society corrupt. When there is no fear, what will happen? People will not bother, and there is always a way around to get away, even after committing corruption or crime. People will always look forward to take those, loopholes and get away from that. This is what happening. We are seeing in the society. Only whatever the law and order and other things are happening, it's only because of self-regulation. It's not that, if you commit crime or if you commit corruption, someone will catch you, someone will punish you. It's not that is restricting. It is only the self-regulation of the people that is making them that they should not commit crime. And it's the fear of God or the fear of karma, making many people think that, okay, we have to justify ourselves, we have to be reasonably good enough so that we should not, the same thing should not happen with us. So that kind of conscious, that kind of fear is the mostly driving the society or individuals to adhere to these universal laws and rules and regulations. So that's how, this law and order is maintained. It's not because, laws, there are many laws, so many laws, acts, rules and regulations, guidelines. But who is following? The simple thing, traffic rules only we violate. And we see many vehicles that are polluting. We see vehicles with huge horns, which is not required. It is causing a huge sound pollution. That is also not followed. So you can see simple violations also. We are not following. Forget about these severe things. So mostly it is due to self-regulation. And because of the need and we are exploiting natural resources, but that to some extent, nature is also supporting us. But it has crossed to the greed, and we have gone to such an extent that the exploitation is leading to destruction, devastation of nature and natural resources. And that's how even rainforests have been disappearing and taking the rich diversity of flora and fauna with them because of the increasing deforestation and climate change. So this World Rainforest Day was instituted to halt this disappearance by reminding people of the importance of rainforests. So this World Rainforest Day is observed throughout the world and aims to educate people about the importance of rainforests and why they are important and the diversity of life that lives in them. By educating people, World Rainforest Day aims to encourage more people to join the effort and protect and preserve rainforests for future generations. Rainforests are lush forests that have a continuous tree canopy. The entire forest is heavily dependent on the moisture content, either through most of the time through rainfall. Rainforests do not have any forest fires because of high moisture content. And flora, fungi, epiphytes, lianas, and trees forming a closed canopy are found in rainforest. You can see a rich, closely green cover. You can see high density of green cover in these forests. And many popular house plants like the pathos and monstera are native to rainforest. A majority of living organisms like birds, animals, plants, trees, shrubs are native to this rainforest. A large number of species of mammals, reptiles, birds, invertebrates, amphibians are found in this rainforest. And rainforests are necessary as they are an important source of fresh water for humans. Additionally, they absorb carbon dioxide and protect the earth from the effects of climate change. They are an important natural resource directly and indirectly. Apart from fresh water and the production of oxygen, several ingredients used in everyday life and manufacturing are derived from rainforests. Timber, meat, animal products, plant derivatives, and tourism are among the other benefits by rainforests. If we take in the rest, of course, there is no need to mention in India. India has a very rich diversity, not only in terms of culture and traditions, but also in terms of geography and demographics. We have from the rich rainforest where there is almost 7 to 9 months rainfall around the year, to the deserts in Thar, in Rajasthan and area where, we don't even get rainfall for at least 30 days or 1 month also. So that kind of rich diversity is available in India. So when we look at the West or the other parts of the nation, other parts of the planet, rainforests were first explored by Europeans. This is not in India. We are comparing rest of the world. Francisco de Orellana, a Spanish soldier, is sent on an expedition and enters an exploration of the Amazon River, which he sails for a year. So that's how the Amazon rainforest and, Amazon basin as such was explored by Europeans in 1541. And illegal mining, timber logging, and slash and burn agriculture result in overexploitation of rainforest across the world since 1900s, and this has gone increasing. And the Brazil declares the loss of forest to be a matter of concern and a national emergency in 2005. See, the governments have started declaring emergency that we have so much exploited forest that they are going to disappear soon. And Rainforest Partnership launches the observation of World Rainforest Day to raise awareness and protect rainforest in 2017. Since then, we are celebrating every year Rainforest Day on June 22nd. So now that we have learnt about rainforest, so you might be wondering how many rainforests are there in the world, or at least in India. Can anyone use chat box to share if you know? It's just for the knowledge, sharing of knowledge. If you don't know also, it's fine. As already said, we don't know many things, nothing to worry about. So there are 10 major rainforests. There are many. It's not, we have just only 10, but there are 10 significant and major rainforests in the world. As already mentioned, rainforests are called such because of the high levels of rainfall they receive every year. Forests, rainforests are those which receive high levels of rainfall every year. And there are 10 such major rainforests in the world. And apart from India, the Daintree forest in Australia is the oldest one in the world, rainforest. And we think that the first thing everyone needs to do on the World Rainforest Day is to educate themselves. First thing is, the change should always begin with us. No, we can't wait someone to come and bring the change or make the change happen. We have to start with ourselves. We have to be the change makers. We have to be the change that we want to see. So change always starts with us. Spread the word, get more people involved in observing this day and protecting rainforests. Spread the word about World Rainforest Day, online and offline. Organize events like this. Today we are also organizing World Forest Day commemoration to share the information and host a talk, a discussion, and supporting rainforest. And rainforests are also not only just rich in biodiversity and ecosystems, they are also the world's largest pharmacy. These medicinal plants and trees and medicinal herbs and spices, they are very rich. A quarter of all known natural medicines in the world have been found in this rainforest. And the generally accepted assumption is that over half of these world biotic species are from rainforest. Not just limiting to half, it's almost 40 to 75% of the biotic species are from rainforest. There are millions of undiscovered plants in these rainforests, which have been identified. We haven't even yet explored because, they are very thick, dense. So we haven't even explored all the species in this rainforest. And they are so dense and thick, and they have not been fully explored. And there are likely millions of species of plants to be discovered. We know very little number of species. And there are millions and billions of species on the planet. But what we know is very little. The rainforest canopy is not well explored because of the difficulty in reaching it, but almost a quarter of insect species are believed to live in the rainforest canopies. And the canopy of the rainforest trees makes it difficult for the light to pass through, which means only 2% of the light reaches the forest floor. As we have said, that forest is very dense, as much as dense that even sun rays can't reach the forest floor. So that dense and that dark is a rainforest. And we all love nature. Hardly there is anyone those who do not love nature, right? We think that rainforests are the source of everything, which are fantastic and useful from nature. We love rainforests and want to help to preserve them. And we know that we all are dependent on rainforests for fresh water to medication. They are rich in sources, natural resources. We want to make sure that future generations have these advantages as well. We know that species are disappearing faster and they can be discovered. We want to ensure that all the undiscovered species have a chance to be discovered. As we know, we are only talking about the species which we know and which are endangered and which have become extinct. But we know, what we know is very less. What we don't know is a large portion of information, large number of species we don't know. And what is happening to them? They might, maybe some billion of species have already become extinct. Who knows? Because we have no idea about whether that species exists or not. Because our science is, that's why I always keep saying, our science is still in infancy. And we have this great fad of taking credit, talking in terms of science and destroying our own planet in which we live and destroying our own health and well-being. We need to come over that and we need to talk. There is a lot beyond the scope of science. Science is still in its infancy, it's still in prematurity. It has a lot of answers. more than answers, it has a lot of questions to be answered. We are not criticizing, but at the same time, we are, over evaluating. We are making an overestimation of the science that is creating a lot of destruction. And we know it's a high time that we all need to work on this restoration. Otherwise, soon the human beings are also going to be extinct. No matter, everyone who is born has to die. But we should die naturally, and everyone should die of natural death. It's not because of our acts that we do die, and we also, die because of our own acts. So that is what we all need to be conscious about. So as already mentioned, founded in 2017 by Rainforest Partnership, World Rainforest Day celebrates the importance of healthy, standing rainforests for climate, biodiversity, culture, and livelihoods, and convenes a global movement to protect and restore them. In 2021, they launched the World Rainforest Summit, bringing together people and organizations from all sectors all over the world for dialogue and community building with one shared purpose: to spark action and drive resilient forest protection. Our partner networks consist of rainforest organizations, indigenous groups, policy representatives, youth leaders, private sector, and artists, and creates, among others, collaborating and innovating for more holistic forest impact. Rainforests store vast amounts of carbon. Carbon from the atmosphere is fixed as a plant biomass through photosynthesis and is stored in the leaves, trunks, and other structures, as well as in the soil. Soil organisms also store carbon. The roots, trees, these branches, stems also store carbon. The leaves, carbon from decaying plant and animal matter is stored in the soils. So that's how these rainforests are very much essential. And we need to conserve these rainforests. And not only that, rainforest is also home to countless creatures, plants, which make up 50% of all terrestrial biodiversity. And because of its source of products we use and love, including medication, common fruit, vegetables, coffee, spices, and various herbs, hygiene products, natural, eco-friendly. And because rainforests are home to millions of people who represent invaluable knowledge of traditions and cultures, especially indigenous people. So what we can do to protect rainforests? Start where you are, start where we are, and consume wisely and engage and share. Now start where you are. Take time to learn more about rainforests and other critical ecosystems. Then look at your home, community, or place of work. What can be improved to be more planet friendly? and then make choices. Your consumption and lifestyle choices have power to help or harm rainforests. Like you buy products that support sustainable development, like sustainable palm oil production. Eat a plant-rich diet with less meat. Choose ecotourism that supports local communities when traveling. Engage, get involved with your community to support rainforests. Vote for the people who prioritize the health of our planet and hold them accountable. Give resources to the cause in terms of your time, knowledge, skills, or if required, even in terms of money. Share what you know. Share what you learn with your friends and family and your community so that we can join forces to protect our most valuable ecosystems. Everyone has a role to play in safeguarding the future of our planet. The best forest guardians are the indigenous people, indigenous communities that live in forests, around forests. Recognizing the rights of indigenous peoples is the best way to protect standing forests. When their rights are protected, they protect the forest and habitats in which they live. But unfortunately, they are being exploited and taking advantage of their ignorance and lack of worldly knowledge. People are exploiting them. And over 50% of our planet biodiversity is also found in our rainforest. Our greatest allies in the fight against climate change are our natural friends. They are nothing, they are no other than rainforest. So let's take this wonderful opportunity to protect, conserve rainforest across the planet. So in India, coming to India, we have three major rainforests. These are Western Ghats, Northeastern region, and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And also, we have smaller ones. These are major ones. And we have smaller ones also, like Odisha, Naga Hills, Manipur. These are, coastline. And especially Northeast have larger number of rainforests. So if you get some time, or if you are planning to visit some place, you can visit this great forest like rainforest. Like if you happen, or if you are planning to for a travel, so make sure you are having an ecotourism plans where you can also enjoy the nature and rejoice the nature and also support. You can learn there, go learn about it and share with others. So you can visit Andaman and Nicobar Islands where tropical evergreen forest is there, and Assam. We have a lot of rainforest, and Northwestern Ghats and moist deciduous forests, which are rich in flora and fauna, and Southwestern Ghats, moist deciduous forests, which are species-rich regions of the Deccan, and Brahmaputra Valley semi-green evergreen forest, which is the home to most alluvial soil, and also Odisha semi-green evergreen forest. And it is a great treat to the eyes as well. So you can visit any of these places and rejoice the rainforest in India. Today, we are also commemorating Windrush Day in UK. This marks the arrival of Afro-Caribbean immigrants to the shores of Britain and honors British Caribbean community. An estimated of 500,000 people made their way to England after the Second World War. The first Windrush Day was held on June 22, 2018, after a successful campaign led by Patrick Vernon. Since then, more and more people have started participating in the Windrush Day celebrations and observations to show empathy with the hardships of the previous generations of Black Britons endured and current generations continue to endure. The United Kingdom suffered significant loss after the Second World War, and the British government decided that it was essential to recruit Afro-Caribbean migrants for the production of steel, coal, iron, and food, and running public transport. The transition wasn't smooth, and the first Afro-Caribbean immigrants faced violence and intolerance from the majority of the white population. Black people were also banned from many pubs, clubs, and even churches, including, because those are Christian countries, most of them. Even they were not allowed, these Black people, they are also Christians, but they were not even allowed into the churches. And Patrick Vernon recognized the importance of the day and called for its commemoration to acknowledge the contribution of migrants to the British society, culture, and economy. Vernon first launched a petition to this effect in 2013, which was followed by another campaign in 2018. During the Windrush scandal, officials accepted the petition and government declared June 22 as Windrush Day. The community was also supported by a grant of UK pounds 5 lakh to honor the contribution of the Windrush generation and their descendants in marking and making Britain a culturally diverse country. Today is also commemorated as Positive Media Day in US. Of course, media nowadays is also contributing positively. Of course, most of the media is highly biased, prejudice, but still there are some media houses, which are spreading positive news. At least some are like, they do both. They spread negativity, they also spread positivity, some are in between. So we have all kinds of media, but we can't judge complete media as such. So this is one such day where a special awareness day that aims to promote positive, inspiring, and uplifting news in the media. Thanks to the media, on one side, it is also bringing news about these climate change disasters that are happening. We are also able to learn what is the impact of climate change and of our human activities. According to the recent research, 41%, this is a commemoration in United States. So 41% of Americans like getting their local news on television, and 37% prefer getting it online. Only 13% of the Americans prefer a printed newspaper, and mere 8% choose radio. So these are the statistics. People are moving more towards TV and online digital content rather than physical paper. So a few decades back, the media had the power to educate people, the good and bad. Don't get us wrong. The media has still power to do so. But unfortunately, today's media is filled with negativity and bad news. This has been shown to affect us negatively too. Media today is skewed heavily towards negative events and depressing information. and it's time we turn the tides. Positive Media Day has been established to change the status quo of everyday media consumption. There is too much hatred, negativity, fear, violence, and attacking that goes on every day. And if this goes on, people will believe that this is how our world will always be in coming days. This is what's happening. Because we'll think we can't change this world. People are like that, world is like that. We can't do anything. So people are also not taking any initiatives because they fear that their initiatives, their efforts will go into vain. So this Positive Media Day aims to inspire and uplift you and your news feeds by bringing a change in the mainstream media. It is also based on the idea that if we can propel positivity into mainstream media, we can change the status quo and begin to shift our global sentiment. With positivity in media, people will be much happier, kinder, and compassionate, and will be more excited for the future. Moreover, there is a lot of amazing news out there in the world. We just want to see and make others see. So the Positive Media Day let us take a stand together to spread awareness, to make all the news and media outlets a beacon of inspiration, motivation, positivity, and a joy for the rest of the days. So when we look at the media, in 1922, BBC News becomes the first organization to broadcast news from a radio station. And then since the invention of internet by Berners-Lee, the internet becomes available to the public in 1993. And some media agencies across the world began reporting only negative news for ratings. Since 2010, this trend has started. Media is turning negative. They need sensation. If you give positive news, they say, okay, what's great in that? If you give negative news, then it spreads like a wildfire because it's all, based on our the people, the viewers, the audience. No, we are liking more and more negative news. That's why media is projecting more negative news. We have to change. We need to look out. We need to ask. We need to vouch for positive news. Then automatically media also will change. If no one likes, no one watches these negative news channels or negative content, automatically what happens? People will also, those who are investing in such stories, they will also lose interest and they will focus on more positive. Of course, it's a story is a story, irrespective of whether it is a positive story or a negative story. Story here means a content. It can be anything, a news, a feature, or a news story. Story is not something that is put up here in this sense. It is something that is being covered. So with too much negativity in the media, people realize that they need to do something about it. And there are also negative, as we have seen negatives, there are also some positives, even coming to not just limited to media, print, electronic media, or digital media, new media. Also social media is also communication. It enables you to communicate and stay up to date with family and friends around the world. You can also find new friends and communities. And you can also, these networks, social networks or online networks can also bring positive inspiration by creating peer motivation, inspiring young people to develop healthy habits, motivating them to try something new, follow their dreams, and encouraging them to speak up. So with fear, hatred, negativity, and sadness crossing our television, mobile screens, and computer screens all day, the Positive Day, Media Day, lets us to take a break and step from the media for a day. One of the best ways in which we can celebrate or commemorate Positive Media Day is by spreading awareness about the positive and negative effects of mainstream media and social media and spread the word in your community. If you are someone who has worked in the media industry or has any experience in the media field, share some of your interesting stories about media industry. Of course, we have a lot of stories to share, but due to time constraints, we are not taking up here. And we have Facebook. It is most widely used social media platform. And we have a lot of stories also, especially more than right, correct information. We have a lot of misinformation, disinformation, false information on Facebook, Twitter, and all these social media. There was a recent survey, and of course, there are many surveys. In that surveys also, it showed a lot of content on these social media are fake or misinformation or disinformation, which are not genuine or true. And nearly half of our daily newspaper readers say that they get their news digitally. So readers are now going online, and Yahoo boasted 175 million unique monthly visitors as of August 2020, with Yahoo tops the list. And over 4 billion people use social media, that is over half of the entire population. So almost everyone is on social media, statistically. Not really a great surprise that average person has 8.3 or just say 8 social accounts. Some may have even more. And it's a high time, according to the recent statistics, the average user spends 2.5 hours on social media, and this has been growing steadily year on year for the past decade. So it's crucial that we consume more good news. And this day celebrates more than a special awareness day to take break from negativity in media. It's a day that spreads positivity and emphasizes happiness, inspiration, and confidence. So with social media and mainstream news taking up a huge portion of our daily life, as it is the thing most of us turn to break away from the stress-filled life. It would be better if it is full of positive news. Today, we are also commemorating National Pet Choking Prevention Day, as we human beings also prone to choking, vulnerable to choking. Even pets can also end up choking. And this day is a mission-driven campaign to spread education to pet parents all over the world, pet lovers or animal lovers over the globe, about every day pet choking hazards around your home, the shocking statistics of how common and avoidable pet choking is, and is simple yet important ways we can come together to help eliminate these risks for our beloved pets. So driven by an unwavering commitment to pet safety, National Pet Choking Prevention Day was created with a simple mission of Target Zero, working towards the goal of 100% eliminate tragic pet choking deaths and pet choking incidents. Tragically, over 2 lakh pet choking incidents occur annually in the United States, costing pet parents millions of dollars in veterinarian fees, most importantly, costing them an immeasurable and irreversible physical and emotional toll. These pet choking tragedies can cause pain, fear, anxiety to the pet parents and also to the veterinary professionals that try to save their lives. Inspired by one such simple goal of creating more awareness and education for pet parents towards eliminating all pet choking incidents in the USA and around the world, Bow Wow Labs, a national pet wellness product company, created National Pet Choking Prevention Day to build a global community of people that share their dedication to keep pets safe, healthy, and happy. So partnering with veterinary professionals that see and must treat preventable pet choking incidents every day, including Dr. Judy Morgan, it is first time recognized on June 22nd, 2023. So this year, this commemoration started and we are commemorating for the first time in 2023. And top 5 choking hazards for dogs and cats, if you look at, because these are common pets that are found in our localities, in our homes, apart from other pets. Certain objects like strings, window blind cords, fishing pole, van type toys, plastic, rubber bands, and hair ties are the ones which often seen hazardous for the cats for choking. And in dogs, balls, sticks, chew toys, bully sticks, treats and long-term chews, food packaging and trash are often the choking hazards for the dogs. And pet choking occurrences are more common than anyone might think or may think. In fact, this is a common occurrence and something that is sadly experienced in homes and veterinary clinics around the world. Hazardous objects or hazards present themselves in the most thought of the objects like chews, treats, and toys, but risks are also caused by common everyday objects, including foods like turnips or carrots, window blind cords, plastic snack bags, baby toys, and in multi-species homes, smaller species toys. And others, similar objects. Pet choking occurs regularly in homes and in veterinary clinics around the world. Most pet parents don't realize that the common everyday objects have the potential to be a hazard until it is too late. Any object that is capable of blocking your pet's airway has the potential to cause them to choke, and this is true of treats that are not chewed properly as well. So we have to be careful what we are feeding our pets. And how to safeguard our pets from dangers. Size matters. Size is utmost importance when considering toys, treats, and chews for your pets. For instance, the diameter of the ball should always be wider than the mouth of your pet's jaw. Ensure that the toys are unable to fit completely inside your pet's mouth. Beware of chews and toys that break apart in large chunks but don't break down into smaller pieces, as these can also be hazardous as well. Know your pet. Each pet has different tendencies. If your pet is one who swallows things whole versus another that chews thoroughly, keep that in mind as it helps determine how you can best protect your pet. Knowing your pet's habits and tendencies is important to identify potential hazards, and if you have a puppy or a kitten, always anticipate the worst and err on the side of the caution, using prevention as the first line of defense. Never leave your pet unattended with treats and chews. A good rule of thumb is if your pet is not finished by the time you get to the door, it is not okay to leave them with that treat and or chew alone. Supervision is always recommended. Bow Wow Labs, the creator of choking prevention safety device, is a durable, easy to use, veterinarian vetted and dog approved device that is tightly secures bully sticks, preventing dogs from choking on the tail end of the treat. And also take care with multi-species households. If you have more than different kinds of pets, the perfect toy for your cat could be a choking hazard for your dog and vice versa. Take note of all your pet toys when you leave the house and your pets unattended so that you can check whether all the toys are present or not. Otherwise, there is a possibility of pets swallowing these toys and they can choke the airway, they can block the airway and lead to choking of these pets. Also, if you have a human baby or a toddler at home, watch for small toys that are left behind, as those can easily pose a choking hazard for your pets. So identify the everyday choking hazards in your home and community and safeguard it. Choking hazards are not just items that are top of mind. When you think of choking hazards for your pets, such as pet toys, trees, and chews, it is common everyday items that you might not think about that can pose significant threat risk. Always, when you have children or pets at home, always keep things organized away from pets. Small things also they don't know. Sometimes they want to play with it and, suddenly it passes through the airway and gets blocked. And size matters, as we have mentioned. Select proper size toys and treats for your pets. Toys and treats smaller than your pet's windpipe or large enough to block airway can create a choking hazard. And also use dog or pet approved safety device that secure bully sticks, which also prevents dogs from choking on the tail end of a bully stick. And target zero is simple. Let's work together to help get pet choking incidents down from 2 lakhs annually to zero. Pet choking incidents are preventable, and with your help, we can eliminate these incidents and not only cost hundreds of thousands of dollars in avoidable veterinary or emergency care, but also huge emotional and physical tolls on pets, pet parents, and veterinary professionals. So this day raises awareness of the everyday dangers of pet choking, also provides education for preventing choking, and the best part is that these may be shared both online or offline. And if you know the most common choking hazards in pets, you can get your pet the help they need and be aware of the dangers behind pet choking. Let's work together to help get pet choking incidents down from 2 lakhs to zero. Pet choking incidents are preventable, and with your help, we can eliminate these incidents, and that not only costs hundreds of thousands of dollars in avoidable veterinary or emergency care, but also huge emotional and physical tolls on pets, so pet parents and veterinary professionals. Through education, we all can help spread knowledge and awareness about the most common and often overlooked items that can potentially block your pet's airway and find solutions on how better product to protect your pet from potential everyday hazards lurking around your home and products that help them keep safe. Today we are also commemorating Be Kinder Day that honors and pays tribute to a young girl who cares about her community and those around her. It also tells us to be kind to others no matter what life puts us through. And we can convert kindness into love. Witnessing acts of kindness produces oxytocin, the love hormone, which helps lower blood pressure and improves our overall heart health while making us feel happy. So everything you need to know about Billy Kinder, her life, her history, and why Be Kinder is important. Today is also commemorated as Dragon Boat Festival, which falls on the 5th day of the 5th month of Chinese lunar calendar. which is popular in southern China. The Dragon Boat Festival is an international event drawing a score of locals and tourists alike. The festival appears to be about racing dragon-shaped boats or about zongzi, the sweet savory dumpling traditionally associated with the day. Not many people know that the Dragon Boat Festival is in fact a homage to the beloved poet who lived over 2000 years ago. The festival originated as a search for his body. The stories involve a mix of everything: dragons, loyalty, spirits, and of course, food. Out of all these legends, one remained the most popular and widely accepted as a true origin story, the story of Kyunya. Today is also commemorated as Glastonbury Festival, which takes place from June 22nd to 26th this year, is one of the biggest, most prestigious performing art festivals in the world. Every year, it is held at Worthy Farm in Pilston, Somerset, UK. The multi-day festival features performances from leading music, dance, comedy, theater, and visual arts. Due to its consistency in providing quality entertainment and experiences, Glastonbury Festival has become a global cultural phenomenon that attracts hundreds and thousands of attendees regularly and have been held to critically acclaim, becoming a pop culture icon of its own light and right. So, inspired by hippie-themed music and art festivals in the United Kingdom in 1960s, dairy farmer and businessman Michael Lewis decided to organize his own. Since Eve's first Glastonbury Festival, then known as Filton Pop, Blues and Folk Festival in 1970, it is grown into the world's largest multi-day outdoor. Glastonbury Festival is so popular and legendary that it has set a model for many other music festivals throughout the world. Regarded as a major touchstone event in British culture, the festival is inspired and run by the unrelenting hippie ethos of achieving peace and togetherness through the arts. Today is also commemorated as National Chocolate Eclair Day. The delicious combination of pastry, cream filling, and chocolate. Eclairs are some of the best loved sweet treats. Apart from chocolate, eclairs are also made with fruit and floral flavors. With chocolate, eclairs are very delicious on their own. Some prefer pairing them with a hot cup of coffee or lightly brewed tea. Today is also commemorated as National HVAC Technology to honor our hardworking repairmen and women keeping us cool in the blazing heat. Summer is brutal for a lot of people across the globe, and the need for properly functioning AC unit is crucial, especially for those closer to equator. Oftentimes, we take advantage of luxury, and it's important to think back to before air conditioning was started in every household on the block and consider the importance and value of your local HVAC tech. Plus, don't forget when an HVAC And summer is brutal for a lot of people across the globe, and need for properly functioning AC unit is crucial, especially for those closer to the equator. Oftentimes, we take advantage of the luxury, and it's important to think back to before air conditioning was standard in every household. Don't forget when an HVAC professional helps you select and maintain efficient heating and cooling systems, they are also helping you to reduce your carbon footprint. So the acronym HVAC stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and it is broadly used term to describe equipment used to keep homes at a comfortable temperature. Typically, most HVAC systems will survive somewhere between 15 and 25 years, but depending on the type of system and other contributing factors, that estimates may vary. Modern systems include air filtration and cleaning elements, as well as heating, ventilation, and an air conditioning unit. The first industry to really use air conditioning was cinema throughout all of the public theaters. Scientific studies have shown that our reliance on air conditioning has actually reduced our ability to handle extreme heat. Crawl spaces, attics, and all places in between are no obstacle for HVAC tech, and we think that's very brave. There's no doubt you had a broken AC before, so now how brutal it can be. Now imagine working in that heat every day. They got a tough job, and we respect for that. And then HVAC professional helps you select and maintain efficient heating and cooling systems. They are also helping you reduce your carbon footprint. Today is also commemorated as National Onion Ring Day. The irresistible deliciousness of onion rings, often by eating as many of them as possible. So that's all for today's commemorations. Yesterday, as we had celebrated Yoga Day, we had some important commemorations that were left. So we will quickly take up them and we'll close the session. Yesterday, it was World Giraffe Day. Every year, Giraffe Conservation Foundation celebrates and commemorates as a way to celebrate the tallest animal in the world, which takes place during summer solstice in the northern hemisphere and the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. Alongside celebrating giraffes, the GCF uses the day to raise funds for the conservation of wild giraffe population across the world and to raise awareness about the challenges these animals face. Institutions across the globe organize events on World Giraffe Day to properly celebrate the holiday. Considering the giraffes can grow to become about 18 feet in height and not surprising that humans have documented the existing of giraffes for as long as we had writing systems. The earliest human records of giraffes date back to ancient Egyptian tomb paintings, which valued giraffe tail hair for weaving belts and jewelry. Over the years, giraffes began appearing in the writings of travelers across the world. From Greece to China, giraffes were treated as valuable royal pets, symbolizing the status of their owner. Giraffes were also hunted, often for fashion-related or medical purposes. The hunting and trade of giraffes led to a sharp decline in the global population by the 19th and 20th centuries. Currently, there exist several different types of distinct subspecies of giraffes. The genus is divided into northern giraffe, southern giraffe, the Masai giraffe, and the reticulated giraffe. The decline steadily continued over the next few decades. The International Union for Conservation of Nature has announced that the giraffe's red list status has changed from least concern to vulnerable in 2016. The major causes of the giraffe's population decline range from a restriction of their natural habitats and so giraffes can run about 35 miles per hour over short distances, and giraffes get most of their water supply from the plants that they eat. The giraffe spots are entirely unique, and giraffes only need to sleep for a maximum of 30 minutes per day. They're very fortunate. They have a very short sleep. A group of giraffes is referred to as tower. So giraffes are fascinating creatures, and World Giraffe Day is an excuse to learn more about these gentle giants. The preservation of biodiversity is critical. The day highlights the need to preserve giraffe population. The GCF has a cool World Day Giraffe merchandise available. It's a perfect day to grab awesome apparel, or you can make one your own. So yesterday is also commemorated as World Humanist Day. The human is the day humanists around the world organize conferences, parties. So humanists create awareness and dispel misinformation about humanism as a philosophical view and means to inspire a positive change in the world. Historians have traced the origin of humanism to the early years of Renaissance period. With scholars in Italy, initially it was primarily a literary movement. As yesterday is also commemorated as World Hydrography Day to appreciate the works of hydrographers. Hydrographers have been significant in helping us determine the modern maritime borders and underwater topography. Their efforts have gone unseen, and in 1970, the UN officially decided to establish an international hydrographic organization for all scientists and geologists. After this, 2005 saw the emergence of an entire day to celebrate and appreciate the works of hydrographers. So use this day to hydrography is used to determine the underwater topography, while oceanography is the study of underwater currents and other details of the related to the ocean. The University of Glasgow is considered by some to be the premier university in the league to study hydrography in abroad, and the maximum depth of any ocean at that point is about 36,161.4 feet, and this point exists So hydrography is an important discipline. Understanding the underwater surface of the ocean is very important. It helps geologists predict sea patterns and underwater currents. Not only that, it helps to determine the temperatures and mineral content below the surface. Hydrography has enabled us to develop sonar and other means of navigation for ships. And hydrographer has enabled us to develop sonar and other means of navigation for ships and submarines. Further developments can assist in developing, who knows, underwater colonies for humans. Atlantis remains a mystery. Maybe with few further development, we might also be able to discover the remains of this advanced territory. Because it should be noted that it was not until the year that we discovered that New Zealand is part of an eighth continent, which is submerged in the Pacific Ocean. So yesterday was also commemorated as World Motorcycle Day to promote freedom of the road, and is dedicated to motorcycle enthusiasts and anyone involved in the industry. At numerous locations, bikers from adverse situations or sections of this area get together to express their love for motorcycles. Although motorcycles have been around for more than a century, their function in society remains constant. Regardless of whether you use your motorcycle for routine work as a hobby, it takes you to desired situation. The history of motorcycles is extensive. In the West, Pierre Mycox invented the first one in Paris in 1860. One of the few motorcycles to come into the decades has initiated, and the first internal combustion motorcycle was created in 1885. And after that, everything took off as well linked light mode of transportation gained widespread access. Motorcyclists are employed for a variety of purposes nowadays, including daily commuting, passenger transportation, entertainment, and delivery. This is mostly because these vehicles have amazing gas mileage and are small, simple to store, and even if you live in an apartment. Today is also commemorated as Shades for Migraine, which is a global awareness campaign asking everyone to wear pink to share their support for 1 billion people living with migraine diseases worldwide. Over 90% of them are unable to work. Today is also yesterday is also commemorated as National Games Day, where adults and youngsters gather in yards and play fun games, especially devised for the day celebration. So yesterday was also commemorated as National Seashell Day in US, as it encourages you to head to your nearby beach and admire beautiful shells left behind by creatures, typically snails and mollusks. There are so many different types of shells that you can find on the beaches. All you have to do is look. However, make sure you are only picking up empty shells and not the ones with creatures still living inside them. If you do not find such shells, it's always best to release them gently back into the ocean. They get ready to head to sandy beaches where seashells await you. And it was founded by Lee Country Visitor and Convention Bureau on the first day of summer in 2016. Sanibel Island has earned the title of the seashell capital of the world, owing its abundance on seashells. And every year people flock to Captiva and Sanibel Islands to search for over 400 species of shells. The calm waves and location make these islands the top pick for people who look for beautiful seashells. However, while shelling is allowed, it is illegal to collect live shells, which is any shell that still has an inhabitant. The shell serves as their home, and it is cruel to disrupt their environment. And this day is also celebrated to elevate the issue of illegal shell trade. In fact, shellers are also encouraged to keep their empty shell collection to a minimum. And it is an ideal opportunity to simply be grateful for the existence of beautiful shells that are home to certain sea creatures. 9 out of 10 shells are dextral and thus open to the right. There are two distinct types of seashells. They are either plain and smooth, like clamshells, or have spikes, ridges, and protrusions. So they are elaborate. The elaborate colors and shapes of on a seashell serve a purpose. For instance, mollusks use patterns to figure out where to put their mantles. Mollusks create only one shell that they inhabit for the entire lifetime by utilizing a variety of proteins and calcium carbonate. There are around 2 lakh mollusks around the globe, and each one of them creates a unique type of shell. According to Feng Shui, seashells come back with luck. They are also known to provide relief from stress and are a symbol of positivity and power. And yesterday, we have is also commemorated as World Day of Music. Either we play an music instrument, or even sing, or we can connect to the systematic study, rhythms and melodies. When plants understand music. So World Day of Music is celebrated every June 21st, which was started in France, but slowly highlights music's universal appeal. It is meant to make more inclusive and to encourage people of varying skill levels. Over the past few years, the festival gained international popularity, eventually being calculated by more than 120 countries around the world. The day evolved to finally became World Day of Music. So So with this, we shall end the commemorations. And we thank everyone for joining us and see you all tomorrow at the same time. Tomorrow we are having an international seminar on women's health, well-being and sustainable development. We request those who are interested to immediately share your details for presentation, complete the formalities. There is no registration as such now. You can share your details, presenters and participants can join. We'll share a registration cum feedback form tomorrow where you can fill all your details so that it can be processed for certificates. So kindly spread a word regarding this event and the feedback form has been raised in the form of polls. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form. It is mandatory for the process of certificates. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form. And once you have filled the feedback form, you may leave the platform. While you are filling up the feedback form, if you have any queries, you can use the chat box to share your feedback. If you have accidentally closed your feedback form, especially it happens due to touch screens on your mobiles or devices, you can access the poll from feedback form from polls quizzes menu, or you can quickly log off and log in. You can see the poll again, or you may have to require to swap or slide your mobile screen or device screen up and up or down or right or left to access. Those who are interested to present in tomorrow's international seminar on women's health and well-being and sustainable development, you can share your details to the coordinator. We request everyone to fill the feedback form which has been raised in the form of polls. It is mandatory. And those who have not registered for today's webinar series can register. We have shared the registration link in the chat box. There is no link for the feedback. It has to be filled within the Zoom platform. The registration link has been shared in the chat box. Those who have not registered can register.